What's up, guys? Kanesha Morrison here with another episode of Testify Tuesday. Today we're doing part 2 of Let's Talk About Sex, baby. Last week, if you were not able to watch it, you want to go back and watch it because it is a goodie. Listen to it and be able to take your sex game to the next level. I reflected a little bit about where my beginnings began being in sexual intercourse and how it affected my motherhood and my livelihood. So go back, rewatch it because it is a goodie. Today, we're going to talk about when to do it, how to do it, and where to do it with kids around, right? Me and Chris have 5 kids and we have been married 11 years and our oldest is 11. So let's be real. That's a lot of kids in a short amount of period. People have told us all the things in the joke, y'all. Do y'all know how y'all get those? Y'all must don't have any cable. You name it, people gave the joke. And all of our babies wasn't planned, but they weren't prevented. And so we obviously knew what we were doing and getting ourselves into. But how do you make time to have proper intercourse where it's pleasurable for both people with children running around? So that's what we're going to reflect on today. Last week, I talked about you being able to schedule intercourse, to be able to schedule it. If it's not on your calendar and you're not planning it, you're planning to fail. When you are a busy mom, if you were able to catch me before I started the actual recording of this, I kind of reflected on what my Tuesday have looked like today. And that's a typical life for us. Ripping and running kids back and forth to school, back and forth to activities, and all of our children are in their own activity. So although 2 play football, they play for 2 totally different leagues, 2 totally different teams. So how do you interact, especially with the husband that has a swing shift? Chris sometimes has to be at work at 8 o'clock at night. Other times he has to be there at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I had to prioritize being able to fulfill my wifely duty. Here's my tip number 2. Number 1 is putting it on your schedule. Number 2, understand that when you have a life partner, marriage or not, significant other, you took a vow, unless you guys have an open relationship, that you would fulfill that sexual need that they had. I don't care how angry you get. I don't care if they don't do all the things that you asked them to do. If things aren't just going the way that you need it to go, you need to know that you are the only person in the world that is supposed to be fulfilling that sexual need for themselves besides themselves. That was the biggest aha moment that I had, even though Chris pissed me off and he may did some things I didn't want him to do. If he stepped outside of our marriage, I would be completely upset with him. And that's another podcast for me to do on how do you recover from an affair. That's a whole totally different thing. But for me, I controlled sex. I said no all the time, more than I said yes. And that's obviously not an excuse to have an affair. But now that I'm older and can look back, if a person is always telling you no and you can never do anything right, I could see how it leads to other things. So you're the only person in the world that can fulfill that duty. Now you get to decide when you do it, but I learned early on that sex cannot be used as a token. He is not a dog. It is not a treat that should be given. It is not a birthright that I'll give you this if you do that. That means that you are loving with expectation. And you have to grow to a place of unconditional love. Although the towel is still on the floor, I know his love language is this, and I have to fulfill this. Women, we run off of emotion. We like to be wooed, and we like to be loved on, and we want to be told we're beautiful, and buy me gifts, take me on dates, let me know that I'm the person that you want. Men are straight physical. Just get naked. That's all it requires. They like lingerie and all the nice things, but at the end of the day, when a man or partner truly loves you for who you are, all you have to do is take your clothes off and be confident and bold in taking your clothes off. Tip 3, if you are always criticizing yourself, you begin to plant doubt, meaning when you take your clothes off and you say, I don't like the way my breasts look. I don't like the way my stomach looks. My thighs are too big. My butt is too that. All you're doing is planting seeds to your partner of the things that they shouldn't love about you. That's all you're doing. Anytime that we always point out every flaw, trust me, he already know your thighs rub together. He know your breasts meet your stomach. He understands that you tuck and nip things before you go out of the house. He is the fully, or she, life partner, is the full person that knows every nick and cranny of you. There's no need to keep saying, I'm fat, I'm not cute, I'm this, I look like a troll, I'm ugly, I'm that. All that is doing is planting doubt in yourself and them. 4, how you reflect yourself, how you feel about yourself is what's going to articulate in your sex game. If you think you are ugly and you're not beautiful and you don't look the best and you always want the lights off and it always has to be your way and you're not open to trying different things, both of you are going to get burned out. That is not pleasurable whatsoever. Okay? That is not pleasurable whatsoever. So let's talk about the how. With 5 children running around, I am not ashamed to say we lock doors and we get it in where we have to. So the bathroom, the closet, on the floor, against walls, the shower, in a car, lights on, right? Exposed. Obviously, we're in the car in our own house. Like, let's not go crazy here and think that Kanesha's telling you to go park in somebody's parking lot. I did not say that. But we will lock ourselves somewhere for 20 minutes. Obviously, it's not a whole... And you can get a lot done in 20 minutes, okay? And be knowing country, Kanesha. And know this, sometimes those 20 minutes don't even lead to penetration. It could be just straight up intimacy, a really good makeout session, a really good, touch and feel thing. But you got to know you got to make time for it. So I say 20 minutes, go where you need to go. The laundry room, the counter. Kids go to bed at night. They go to bed. And if your kids don't have a bedtime, I don't care if you're in quarantine or not, give those kids a bedtime. You need it, they need it. I thought I was going to go crazy with kids still being up at 1 o'clock in the morning because I'm not going to bed till they go to bed because they're on that doggone Fortnite and y'all know how that go. They can talk to strangers. So I found myself literally losing my mind. So give those kids a bedtime. Give those kids a bedtime. 5, if your husband has a swing shift like mine does, the greatest thing that I ever did was learn how to work around his schedule. So when Chris has to be at work at 4 o'clock in the mornings, those are my favorite mornings because his alarm goes off at 2. I'm able to get it in. He's still having, 2 hours, 3 hours, an hour and a half, an hour, 45 minutes. Depends on how much I want it because I've learned it has to be a mutual thing. Although I did intercourse for him, once I learned myself, it became pleasurable for both of us. 6, after you figured out the how, where it's going to be and how you're going to do it, you are going to have to get yourself there. Sadly for us, we don't get to just wake up and go into, gosh, that sounds so provocative when you think of that. I was getting ready to say how men can stand at attention quickly. Sadly, we don't become that way. It takes a little bit of work to be able to get the lubrications and the things that the woman needs to be able to do that. Allow time for that. So if you know it takes you 20 minutes to get your engine running, be honest with him about that. Babe, today I'm just really down and I really want to be your wife today. I've used these words. I really want to be your wife today, but I'm just not feeling it. Can we fill mama's tank up for a minute? Your husband wants to please you too. He doesn't want to always feel like he's the only person that should be reaching their peak or, having their moment of joy. And then he's sitting there looking at you and you all cross-eyed and crazy and you just ready to go to bed and it ain't no cuddle time. That makes them feel like they did something wrong. And truth be told, think about it from a male perspective. If you gave your all to your partner and you peaked and you look over at your partner and they immediately grab their phone or they need to run to the bathroom or they turn their back to you, you will almost feel like you violated them, right? Because it doesn't feel like it's reciprocated. If you are getting anything out of this, feel free to hit the share button or shoot me some hearts. If you're listening to this on the podcast, please know I record this every live on Facebook and Testify Tuesday. You can come watch it live with me, interact with me, and grow with me, and get to know me live. You can find me at www.facebook.com/lashes y'all. So, point 7, you need to know that it is meant to be enjoyable for both ends. and do what you need to do to fill your tank. So if you need the lingerie, if you need to set the candles, if you need the bath water and the bubbles and the smell goods and the candles and the body rubs and the lotions, and if you know you need this, why don't we make time for that? If you know you like to give oral or receive it, why is it an inconvenience to acts of that? I'm going to break it down to you like this. You cook for your family. You do your laundry. You shuffle kids all around. You work hard every day. You listen to the calls. You listen to the complaints. You come up with the solutions. You help rise above. You help them overcome it. How is it inconvenient for you to ask what you want? And then you guys have heard me talk about plan, do, review before, but in a sexual manner, I call it the container. I did not create this. A sex expert did, but I loved it. So the container is your four walls, and you guys set the limits of what the container is. A yes can stay a yes, but a no cannot turn to a yes because it can be pressure and things like that. So we do what's called A or B. Did you like it when I do rub touch this way or when I touch it going across that way? A or B? Which one did you like better? This is when you got a little bit of time. You send those babies to bed early, okay? 8, 9 o'clock. That way you can do whatever you need to do with the door lock. If you have a smaller home where children could possibly hear you in the act, the best thing I have learned to do is grab a pillow and keep it close. It actually intensifies some things too if you bite on that pillow or bite your partner, whatever your partner decides and you guys are into. But I really wish that sex was not such a taboo subject when it came to women. And I see so many comments coming through that you guys are loving this because this makes me happy because sex was the hardest thing for me to overcome. I really didn't understand the true gift that it was until we had baby number 4. And that's a lot of children to have and never get anything out of it or feel like you're not getting anything. Because for a long time, finishing him made me feel like a badge of honor. But as I got older, I was feeling, more empty because I wasn't getting anything out of it anymore. Or they were rare and in between. So tip 10, if you have not explored yourself, I'm going to need you to do that. Touch, feel, imagine, use your imagination, be what you need to be fully present in the moment. And tip number 11, this is your PS because I'm your girlfriend. Okay, here we go. I got 2, actually, 11 and 12. 11, if you are a single woman and you don't have a partner, but you're exploring the possibility of expanding to partners, dust off your own cobwebs before you allow someone else to do it. Okay? I love you. I say that out of love. Dust off your own cobwebs. Because if you don't, when you go there, because it's been a while and you haven't done it yourself in a while, it's going to feel like they the one. It's going to feel like, oh my gosh, this is the one, I found it. Let's not fall for the okie doke. It's okay to get your scratch. But be smart about it. Scratch your own before they scratch it so you don't think you in love. Okay? We love and lust can be a fine line there. So I love you, and I need you to know that you got to take care of your own need before somebody else can fulfill it. And that's going to be any parts of life, whether that's sexual, business, whatever. Fulfill your own cup first. Get what you need, and then do what you have to do. Okay? I forgot 12 because 11 pierced my heart so fast. Oh, well. Just kidding. It ain't 11 and 12. Darn. I hate it when I do that, y'all. Oh, my gosh. What was number 11? Because that was supposed to be 12. Oh, my gosh. Just have fun with it. Just have fun. Plan it out. Map it out. Oh, I remember now. Number 11, which is now 12. Y'all notes all jacked up. Kanesha's just a mess today. Do not let this fairy tale, movies, documentaries, porn, any of the above make you feel like that is what you should have to do. Your container and what you're comfortable in and your boundaries are completely, absolutely acceptable and okay. Do not let these fairy tales and fake movies and these people that are actors make you feel like you are not enough. If you want to press your edges, do it. But if you want to stay in your container, you do that too. Do not fall for you have to be the woman in the videos, because I know I had a pre-notion of, the movies, they bring flowers and they set the candles and they have the bed rose petals all over the place. And it's just beautiful. And I used to make Chris do that because I thought I wanted the fairy tale every time, until I woke up and I'm like, who gonna clean all this up? Like, who gonna clean all this up for these children get in here? Should it be romance? Absolutely. Should he date you? Extraordinarily. You are the queen of the crop and you are the best. He should be able to woo you and love you every single time. But it shouldn't be an expectation there that that's the only way you can connect with your partner. I compared myself to women in videos. I watched pornography to see what these women was doing and how could I begin to do it. And I would try their moves at home. Some was okay, but I felt so out of my comfort zone. I made it uncomfortable for him and I. Neither one of us could enjoy it because he like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? And I'm like, just shut up and go with it. And now we fighting in the middle of it when it shouldn't be that way. It's supposed to be an intimate act that bring you two closer together. That's the closest that two souls can get. So I'm Kanesha Morrison. I hope this Testify Tuesday was good for you. I hope that your sex game is amped up. I hope that you are able to fulfill all the orgasms. And I hope that you are able to live a long, healthy life. Because if you have not looked at what orgasms can do for you, honey, they cause you to glow. They de-stress you. They help you. They grow you. You live longer. It's healthier. Your heart is less congested. It helps with blood flow. Don't get me started on it. Say yes to the orgasm. Do what you need to do to get there. Even if you got to jumpstart your own car before you get there. If you know you need the candles and the rose petals, do it for yourself. But the expectation on your partner having to do it every single time is what will dampen the mood before you even get started. So ask for what you want. Do what you need. I see you, Jennifer. What you need part 3 to be on, mama? Drop it below on what you need part 3. Life is good and you are good. Thank you guys so much. If you got anything out of this, feel free to hit the share button or shoot some hearts. I want to know what you think. Drop in the podcast review below. Did you get anything out of this? Because I want to know. Are you getting anything out of it? I love you guys, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Testify Tuesday.